Hello, eighth grade L2k students and their parents. We are so excited to have you in L2k for next year. It's been great meeting all of you, seeing you at signing night. Uh, we're looking forward to a great high school experience with you all. One of the biggest questions we always get is math pathways. So I wanted to share this quick video with you about just all of the different options that you have and what you need to do to make sure that you are placed in the right spot. Most of the time, it's nothing because the system pretty much works. So this slide I showed at the night, and this kind of just gives you all of the different scenarios and pathways. These are all the typical ones. Every once in a while, there is a divergence, but you do go through the sequence. So there is no skipping over any of these unless it is at the AP pre-calculus level. At that point, when you have successfully completed Math 3, you can't skip AP pre-calculus, but if you were to take a college accredited course from our list of approved courses over the summer between Math 3 and AP calculus, and pass our placement test, you can do that. So I just wanted to get that scenario out of the way that does happen sometimes, but there is no option for advancing quicker through the sequence at any level below AP pre-calculus once you're in the stream, because there are no replacement courses for those other ones. So here are some possible freshman scenarios for you, and we'll come back to all that placement testing business in a second. One is, kind of you're a Math 1 student, a Math 2 student, a Math 3 student, or an AP pre-calculus student. You have one period of math every day, and you just take a full schedule. That would give you 6 out of 8 periods. One of those periods would be your lunch, and then you'd have one period that would be called your free period. But you really have 2 free periods, one that just gets called your lunch. I just put together a possible scenario there. You wouldn't necessarily have math first period and L2k second period, for example. I just put a mock-up of what your schedule might look like right there. Here would be somebody who's taking one period of math, but they are getting 7 total periods within their day. Certain scenarios allow you to go up to a 7th period. That is, if you are pairing L2k with a world language or a music, and I should also have Stugo in there as well. That would allow you to get to that 7th period in your day. And you would just have one off period during your day that would be either 4th, 5th, or 6th, so that you could have a lunch in the middle of the day. And then this is actually most common for L2k students because our most common cohort of students does Math 2 and 3. And so that's 2 periods of Math 2 in the fall and 2 periods of Math 3 in the spring. You get 2 math classes in during your year. You notice how that fills out the rest of your schedule with those same, electives and core classes there. You just are taking up one of your extra periods with math. Most of those students, either don't have an elective and get 6, or they have that extra elective that's world language, music, or Stugo to get to that 7th. There's another scenario up here I didn't put where sometimes they will give you your healthy choices class, which gives you 6.5 credits, which gives you one semester with 6 periods and one semester with 7 periods. So these are some scenarios. I get it. Again, here's the big math questions. When we're starting in Math 1, this is kind of the just standard pathway. You take Math 1, you take Math 2, you take Math 3, you take AP Pre-Calc. We would like to try to challenge L2k students, and it's by no means, a definite thing that you have to do, but if you can really excel as a 9th grader in that Math 1 class, to think about doubling up and blocking your 10th grade math, which gets you back, just to that ability to get to calculus by the time you graduate from high school, if you're more STEM minded and you want to do that. You can also start in Math 2. If you start in Math 2 as a year long, this would be your pathway, Math 2, Math 3, AP Pre-Calc, and then ending with AP Calculus or AP Statistics. If you want to start in Math 2 and 3, you would go Math 2 and 3, then 10th grade AP Pre-Calc, 11th AP Calculus, 12th Calc 2 or AP Stats. Your other possibilities, if you're starting in Math 3, you end up basically at that same endpoint as if you had started in Math 2 and 3. The benefit there is that you have opened up an extra period in your day, but we only want you to do that if you're ready for it. If you're ready for it, you could start an AP pre-calc as a ninth grader. That would get you to Calc 3 by the time you're a 12th grader if you went through the sequence of calculus pathways anyway. If you started an AP calculus, you would get through Calc 3 by the time you're 11th grader. This does happen from time to time. We've actually had a freshman in L2k who started in Calc 3 one year. So we will start you where you are ready to start. So back to this visual where you've got what you're in 8th grade and what your just natural placement would be as a 9th grader versus what happens when you take a placement test in that red area right there. And so most students just have their placement automatically. The only choice where you just get to say, I want to pick one, is whether you do Math 2 or Math 2-3 if you're an honors student. If you are in the blue, if you're regular 8th grade and you want to jump up to starting in Math 2, we're assuming kind of that you want to do a Math 2-3, but you could also placement test to do that sort of yellow and gold path of Math 2. That test is in August because we want you to have time to prepare. I will be sending you materials to prepare for that test so that you have all of the stuff that you need. Because it really is a significant jump up from Math 1 to Math 2. So we want to make sure that you actually prepare for it. So placement testing for all of those other ones, if your natural placement would be Math 2, but you would like to start in Math 3, that test is Wednesday, April 24th at 4:20 in Mobile 4 on the east side of Legacy. There is also a placement testing that'll happen in early August. You could choose to delay your testing until then, but you only get one chance at it. So you can't take the Wednesday, April 24th one and then say, oh, I'd like a do-over in August, because it's the same placement test and that doesn't give a true measure of whether or not you're really ready for it. So we'll talk about signing up for that in a second here. And if you're already in a class that's like geometry above, we should probably talk because your placement may automatically be higher. The district does a really good job of placing you where you need to be, and I'll be getting that information from our registrar soon. And if we see any discrepancy between where you think you should be placed and where you are placed, we will definitely work on fixing that for you. So here is the QR code and the website for signing up for the placement test. You guys can go ahead and do that, and I will be in contact with you over the next few weeks to make sure that everything is all good. Other questions? Just you're going to be getting a lot of information from me, but I've already gotten a few questions about what parents can do to support their children. I think the number one thing is attitude help, right? Push them appropriately, but don't push them to be perfect. So make sure you are focusing on authentic learning with your kid, about maintaining excitement, energy, passion for things. Hard work's not a negative, struggle's not a negative, response to setbacks, all of those kinds of things that we know as adults are important. Students, listen to your parents. I know it's hard sometimes, but they actually have your best interest in mind. Parents, I will tell you this with your students listening, it is better to push them for their authentic learning in school than their perfection in school. Are there things that they can do this summer to prepare? What should I do to be prepared for L2k as an incoming freshman? So I copied this from an email that I got from a parent. And the biggest thing that I would say on this one is just keep exposing yourself to good STEM content, okay? Just have ideas, constantly be aware of the world around you, have a questioning, curious mindset about everything. And you are going to get some materials from me in upcoming weeks about what you can do to start writing your first paper. You do have product due on the first day of school next year. The most challenging part of this program, it depends on every individual student. For some people, it's growth in public speaking. For some kids, it's growth in writing. For some students, it's managing their time. For some students, it's managing workload with other classes. There's a bunch of different possible challenges that can happen, but everybody has their challenges. And so that's what we're getting ready for, is working through those with you. Is there an orientation for L2k prior to the start of the school year? Yes, there is. We are going to have an August parent orientation here at school. And again, that's something you'll hear from me later. What else do you have for me? Somebody asked me that question. I have nothing yet other than all of this information, but again, you will be getting a ton of stuff coming up in upcoming days, weeks, and months. I will send you some of this stuff too. There's a lot of good recommendations for things to read, for things to watch, for things to listen to. And I've got an even more extensive list than this that I will be sending out to you guys, but you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself with good information. We gave you guys your commonplace book, so keep that little L2k book, and it's your thought journal, right? Where you write down all your ideas, your plans for world domination, all that kind of stuff. We are super excited to have you in the program. I believe in the power of us being in constant communication with each other. So if you ever have any questions or concerns about anything, I say this all the time, there's no stupid questions. So please make sure that you ask me. All right. Thank you for watching.